What's going on, fish? Welcome back to the Coy Pond, episode 55, and we have our co-host back. Woo! He has made it back from his long journey, ventured far and near, and as always, it's Colin, back with Kevin, back in the Coy Pond, beyond the reeds, ready for another glorious Thanksgiving week of NFL football.
Here we go, right?
And here we go.
Crazy.
Don't forget, you can find us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, I think is the platform name, Amazon. Leave us something on SpeakPipe if you want your question answered and listened to live on, or not live, but live our time on the YouTube video. Exciting news. The store is getting pushed along. We are another step closer to officially having the Coy Pond merch store open. I think initially we're thinking some different styles of sweatshirts with some different logo variations on where you want it on the sweatshirt.
Yep.
As per usual, we'll have hats as well with a nice little secondary logo that we haven't seen yet.
Yes.
We're keeping it simple. It just makes more sense, and we're going to make it pretty affordable from initially what I can say.
Yep.
And it's getting along. It's being pushed along.
We have a team of people as we speak working
hard
on this around the clock.
Yes.
To make it a reality for you.
Yes. It probably won't be done in time for a Christmas present for that special someone you know that wants one. But
you know what's coming up right after the start of the new year? Valentine's Day. And send the Coy Pond to the love of your life.
Yes, the yin and yang of your heart.
What says I love you more than
I watch the Coy Pond.
Beyond the Reeds.
Beyond the Reeds. It's too funny. But exciting stuff getting pushed along with that. We didn't want to forget to say something. If you notice that this was cut in and out, it's because we may not have said anything till the end of the podcast. I snipped it back in the middle. But you don't need to know that. I said that because I love you.
No.
What a crazy week. What was that? 12 was.
Yeah.
You got some pretty big upsets, and you had some pretty hard beatdowns. Just crazy stuff. I mean, it couldn't have started better than the Steelers-Browns game and the Snow Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
It feels like a classic AFC North game, and Lord did it deliver. I did not expect the Browns in any capacity to have any life, to be completely honest.
It's shocking.
Yes.
There were no words for that. And was there something there with Tomlin and calling a timeout or something? I didn't see exactly what it was.
I think there was, and it was a weird game all around. It did not feel like a typical Tomlin-coached game.
It did not.
It felt like there was some just miscommunications that don't typically happen on his team that, frankly, they just happened in that game. A little bit of a slip-up, maybe. You would have assumed Russell Wilson could have handled it, mainly playing in Seattle and Denver.
Yeah. But
the snow got the best of him, given it was in Cleveland, the dog pond. That can be a little brutal from time to time. But
crazy. The game started, there was no snow.
No.
And by the end of it, it looked like it had been like that for weeks.
Yeah, I mean, lake effect and full effect. That was crazy. Nick Chubb had a good game. Jameis Winston got the win. Still threw an interception, so that still lives on. But the Browns don't look as terrible as I would have guessed.
And Jameis Winston is looking like, this compared to Deshaun Watson. And
oh my God, yeah.
You saw him on, I think it was a 4th and 1 that he's trying to get the Steelers to jump.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Come on, jump off sides.
Yes.
Which is pretty funny.
It's Jameis Winston. His personality is infectious. It's like a child's out there in pads playing football, and he's always been a character.
Yeah.
But it just never gets old.
Very impressive win.
Very, very impressive. I do not see the rest of the Browns and Steelers season going the way that game went.
No.
But you know what? We got a classic on Thursday night. It might have been low scoring, but you know what? It was still enjoyable to watch.
Any week, right?
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Any given week. And I mean,
Just ask the Texans, right?
Oh, God. Texans-Titans, that was a crazy one. Texans came back in the game just to lose the game.
Yeah.
And forgive me, I can't remember all the details of how that game ended up on those couple drives towards the end. But, I mean, it's getting loud for the Texans right now from their own fans. CJ, what's it? Oh, my God.
CJ Stroud?
Yeah, well, they're calling him a different name. CJ Fraud, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which is kind of hilarious. I mean, I don't think Mixon got too involved in that game.
And just to remind our listeners out there, you heard it from the pond first. We suspected there could be a regression in C.J. Stroud.
Yes.
At C.J. Stroud. And indeed, that is what we are seeing now.
Yes. Mixon did not get worked into this game at all, given they were coming from behind the whole time.
Yeah.
So that, it kind of eliminates the running game, as we all know. But just crazy. I mean, Will Levis.
Oh.
You lose to fucking Will Levis?
Yeah. Yeah, they've been a mess, right?
You could definitely be chalked up to be what am I trying to think of? Could be a random anomaly of a game for the Texans. It was at home. Stroud is typically better at home. He's not historically done amazing on the road against good teams.
And it's like we kind of said, Brian Callahan is a good coach,
Right.
It's taken a little bit of time,
Yes.
but they are starting to be way more competitive in these games because they should have never won that game.
There should be no chance in hell they win that game. It's hilarious to me, but you know what? We'll see the next couple weeks.
Yep.
There's still 7 weeks?
6 weeks, I think.
6 weeks left. And who knows? Texans could do the funniest thing ever and pull the Jaguars and lose out.
Yep.
Or they could rise to the occasion. I mean, frankly, you're only missing Diggs.
Right.
The rest of that team is now healthy. You should be fine.
Right.
It essentially is the same team as last year with Mixon.
That's right.
I would argue they should be fine, but Lord only knows.
And we're starting to see some chinks in the Chiefs' defense.
He beat me to it. The Carolina Panthers almost did.
How the hell is that possible?
I think personally that was one of those where it's like, you know what, we're going to Carolina. Let's enjoy the sights. This should be an easy win.
Yep.
And it was not. There was, I think, rumors Pacheco could have been back that week.
Yes.
He wasn't, which, honest to God's probably for the best.
Yeah.
But, I bet Pacheco will be back this week.
Going to be back this week. And Ladarius Sneed, they are missing him something fierce.
Yes, he's on the Titans now.
Yes.
And
now they're coming up, the Chiefs. But again, they better get this defense figured out because they're not exactly a high-powered scoring offense.
They aren't. They kind of are. They're consistently middle of the road on both, and it's the Chiefs. They're going to figure out a ways to win. They won the game, whoop-de-doo. It was closer than it should have been.
Yeah.
But, I wonder if that's some of that leadership on the defense that wasn't there that led up some of those big plays.
Yeah.
I mean, the Panthers should not look quite that good.
And Bryce Young is starting to look like what I thought he would look like at the start. He didn't. He had to get his ass benched again, and Andy Dalton to come in and have that time to think about it to kind of get his shit together.
I completely agree. And, I mean, more power to the Panthers. It's better league when there's not a team 0-17, more or less, So
crazy.
Giving the Chiefs a run for their money was hilarious.
I mean, a loss is a loss, but that's a win for the Panthers, no doubt.
I mean, the spread was like 13.5, 10.5.
Holy crap.
That was a close game, and it was one ball away from being the Carolinas win, and then the Chiefs are batting their heads the rest of the season.
Yeah. Nutty.
Chiefs looking like they've got holes in that team in general.
There's some problems.
We'll see. Like we've all said, they're probably going to be playoff Patriots.
Yep.
They're going to get right to that 1-2 seed in the AFC.
Yep.
And then they turn it on.
Yep.
And that's when it's horrifying.
Exactly.
Cowboys beating the Commanders.
I never in a million years. I wasn't on the cast last week, but if I had been, my prediction would have been 38-10 Washington.
Was that not the wildest fourth quarter?
3-3 at halftime, and the score ends up 34-26, most of it coming in the fourth. And I've never seen a game back and forth like that in a shorter amount of time, more extreme back and forth. And here they finally get back in there, the Cowboys do, and they get the Turpin punt return.
Yes.
And then the sons of bitches give up the deep pass.
Scary Terry, right?
Scary Terry. Mm-hmm. And I thought, there you go. It's over with. Here we go. Just one of these teases, right?
Mm-hmm.
That son of a bitch missed that extra point, and it still wasn't over because they got the ball back again.
Yep.
Because the Cowboys scored on a quick onside kick.
That was hilarious.
And they still had another shot to tie it up.
I was going to die if somehow in the end what fucked them was running that onside kick in for a touchdown.
And by the way, Washington is the team that had the Hail Mary already. So I saw that happen, and I'm like, you dumbass, fall to the ground. And McCarthy was pissed as hell.
Oh, my God. That was
like,
the best
what
part.
are you doing?
Go down.
Oh, yeah.
Go
yeah.
down.
And so they had a shot. If they'd have tied that thing up after missing the extra point, the failed onside that got run back, it could have, because It could have been 34-34, and that would have been unbelievable.
I mean, everyone's special teams in that game were crazy. I think at the beginning it was 1 for 4 on field goals between the both of them.
Yeah, the start of the game, so Dallas couldn't do shit, right?
Right.
They were hanging with them. They couldn't kick a field goal. They blocked the first one because Washington unbalanced the line on one side.
Right.
Then he pushed the next one right because they were coming again, and he anticipated it. I just like, what? And then they got a punt blocked after that. I'm like, what the fuck? So Washington's special teams in the start of the game was killing Dallas.
Right.
And then it was Dallas's special teams that killed them in the end. It was so weird.
A crazy game. It was exciting to watch if you only watched the fourth quarter, that's for sure.
And I don't know how true this is, but I read this morning that they're going back to being called the Redskins.
I saw that there's a legitimate petition for that to happen.
So we'll see.
I'll be honest. All political views aside, just fucking go back to being the Redskins.
Just going back, yeah.
Everyone calls you the Redskins.
Yep, just
Everyone's
go back.
just too worried about getting canceled.
And exactly. Let's start to turn. I mean, the election was the start of the turn of the cancel culture, I think.
Yeah,
and this would be kind of next step in that.
I mean, if the Native Americans want it to be called the Redskins, then who cares?
Exactly.
That's all I'm going to say. That's true. If that's true.
And it is. I mean, I've seen article after article that Washington commanders basically insulted the tribe by removing, because it's an actual chief.
I
a beloved chief. Whose face is the logo on the helmet, and it's a bigger insult
to switch it to a W.
To remove it than to leave him on. Who the hell made that decision?
They're a lot better as the Redskins, I'll say that.
So
this podcast only recognizes But I did see, though, that since the Hail Mary between the Commanders and Bears are combined 1-7.
Oh, both of them together?
I believe.
Shitty.
I'll double check that because it was on Instagram. Lord only knows, but
it's not been good for either team.
No, I mean the Vikings overtime beat the Bears. They let them back into it and gave some false hope, but the Bears again lose a game.
Yeah, I just can't get it going.
Matt Eberflus isn't gone by the middle of this season.
Yeah,
and that ownership is not historically known for getting rid of coaches mid-season.
Yeah.
Fucking get him out of there.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's almost like Gerard Mayo saying, hey, once they get on the field, I can't help them.
Yeah,
it's like,
right.
Christ almighty, man.
What?
There's like two things you can't
coach.
say. Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about? Shut up.
You're telling me there's nothing?
Shut up.
After those two games, though, Lions killed the Colts. Sorry, Kyle.
No shocker, but
no.
The Colts uniforms were sweet.
The black ones?
Is that what it was?
I think so.
Like a really dark or navy helmet?
Black with a dark blue.
Yeah, those were sweet uniforms.
They are sweet. It's a shame they got to losing them.
Yeah.
Tough look. Broncos, take care of the Raiders. Raiders are a dumpster fire.
Bo Nix is just getting better and better.
He's going to be a problem.
He's a problem.
And that team's $40 million in debt because of Russell Wilson right now, too.
That's incredible.
Imagine when they have money.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sean Payton's a great coach. We knew that. Bo Nix will be a stud. It's his guy.
And good for him. I mean, again, we talked about this earlier in the season. We had somebody write into us. He was right.
Well, yeah, no.
Sure.
And to clarify, the comment wasn't that Bo Nix was going to be trash. I said Bo Nix shouldn't start the first few games so that they don't kill his initial vibe.
Wasn't ready. Yeah, exactly.
Just for the record.
Right. But, man, I give it to Sean Payton for recognizing what he wants in a quarterback, that guy had it, and he was able to find that. That's so tough.
It is.
But what an impressive fit.
Drew Brees Part 2.
That's exactly it. That's well said.
He's like, you're going to be my little Drew Brees.
Yeah.
You're going to win a Super Bowl.
And that Bo Nix, just the way he handles himself in interviews, and he's different. He's different.
Did you see the eyes he gave that Raiders linebacker?
No.
I'll show you after this.
Really?
I'll put a picture if you didn't see it on the podcast. But at one point, I don't think it was Max Crosby. It might have been someone else on the line for the Raiders. Rushed and missed him. And Bo Nix was talking some shit.
Was he really?
To the Raiders defensive lineman. And his eyes, you could only see the whites of his eyes.
Really?
He's like just staring right at him.
No kidding.
And the ref came over and he had to back off the Raiders linebacker. It was pretty hilarious. Kid's going to do well.
Oh, snap.
Packers. How bad are the Niners?
Oh, what is going on there?
Is it a dumpster fire with the injuries?
Yes.
Does everyone assume that they can't do it now?
And Christian McCaffrey can't get anything going.
And I mean, this was only his second game, third game starting, something like that.
They're screwed.
Not looking good.
Not good. And
that NFC West is good. Or
Purdy,
good enough.
Yeah, and Purdy might be back this week.
Oh, that's right.
But,
He was out for that game.
But Seahawks right now, I think, are the third position
Yeah.
in the overall playoff rankings.
I think
So,
you're right because they're ahead because they beat the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's crazy because you look at the NFC versus the AFC playoff picture, and the AFC's got 10-1, 9-2, 8-1, 7 and whatever. NFC's got 10-1, 9-2, and then shit. Pretty much like that.
It's a couple juggernauts and the rest are just kind of record wise.
So it's a big difference. A lot more winners over in the AFC right now than there is in the NFC.
But the NFC's got juggernauts.
So
we'll have to see.
You could argue Detroit's the best right now.
You could, and
yeah,
and
you'd probably be right.
But the average might be the AFC's a little bit better as a whole than the NFC. So then you get all those wins on the AFC side.
Yeah. So your record has got to be a little bit tweaked for strength of schedule and competition. Inflation. Yeah, good way to say it.
We already kind of touched. Seahawks beat the Cardinals. Boring-ass game. I'm kind of surprised. But you know what? In that division at this point, I don't know who's going to win any of those games.
And you can't predict the Seahawks and you can't predict the Cardinals. No. They both are just...
They look so good and then they look so bad.
They look like they're like the robot and... Lost in Space, Danger Will Robinson, Danger Will Robinson, up and down.
Dealership inflatables that are just swinging everywhere.
Dealership inflatables.
Wacky inflatable car people.
That was funny. I could see it perfectly in my head as you said it.
Going up, up, up. Sunday night, Eagles at Rams. Saquon Barkley put on a clinic.
God.
That is not fair. He's on pace to break the record, I believe. Before that game, I think he needed 170 yards a game the rest of the season to break the record. He got 250. So 250. That average went way down.
He's carried the ball 26 times a game in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And suddenly, they're leaning on him. They're killing people.
They're beating.
They protect the defense doing it. Now they suddenly look probably a little better than the Ravens do.
Yeah, I would say.
If you're looking at who picked up the big running back and was going to make the difference, we all would have said Derrick Henry.
Yes.
Versus Saquon Barkley.
I think Derrick Henry's better. I think the Eagles use Saquon better.
Yeah, I think you're right.
After the AFC last year, and I can't remember the coaching changes, and we'll get into the Ravens game in a second, but I'm not convinced that the Ravens know how to use running backs.
Yeah.
They always have them, but I don't think they have a system for them.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong because Derek always has a great fourth quarter and gets off to a slow start. And that just might be him. I have no idea, as you know. But Saquon's looking like a demon.
Yeah, he's kicked it into another level. Derrick Henry was kind of the man.
Yep.
And now Saquon has just stolen that right from him, really.
Which is hilarious to think about. Before the fantasy season started was, myself included, thinking, I don't know. Saquon might not have it. Yeah. I don't know. Derrick Henry may not have it.
Yeah.
In reality, you never know what players are doing, but they both clearly were taking a step back so they could propel themselves when they got to a good team. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
How are you going to know?
Yeah. And Dallas has gotten their ass whipped by I forget who the other one is, Saquon Barkley.
Alvin Kamara.
Derrick Henry. There was another one that was a free agent that Dallas could have signed, and they didn't. All three of these backs ended up just frickin' destroying Dallas when they played them. And they could have got him for $8 million a year for 1 year. Could have got the guy lived in Dallas.
We'll have to see.
Whatever. I'm just like, good grief. Each one of them is killing it.
Yeah.
So.
And Monday night, as we all know, we had the Ravens at Chargers. You know what? I was high on a thing called a win last week, and I thought the curse had been lifted. I was on a Cowboy-style cocaine run. I was convinced the curse was gone. Jim Harbaugh had brought peace and prosperity to Chargers land. And boy, was I fucking wrong. The fucking Chargers will charge themselves again. As always, get off to a hot start, followed by Quentin Johnston dropping the goddamn ball. Nothing you can do.
It was brutal.
Quentin
was brutal.
It was. That was brutal. He's had a much better year. He's doing better. Compared to last year, a lot better.
Yeah.
The lights got bright. He got a little nervous. It is what it is. They got a trash touchdown in the end to make it a 7-point game, which is good enough, even though there were some penalties in every game. It shouldn't have been that close. They handled Derrick Henry and Lamar just fine in the first half. Second half, Derrick Henry's a different beast. I don't know what to say other than, hey, that's just the Chargers. I'm hoping they miss the playoffs and get a better draft pick, but at this point, I am assuming they'll make the playoffs and probably lose first round.
Mm-hmm.
Defenses carry a lot more in the second half of the season. We'll have to see, but that sucks.
Yeah. What was the score at halftime? I'm trying to remember.
At halftime, the score, I got it right here. The score was 14-13.
Yeah, okay.
Ravens were up by 1.
That's right. They got the field goal right before the half, the Chargers did.
Yep. And you know what? Dicker looks amazing. Justin Herbert could probably do better if he threw more to Josh Palmer when he's open instead of forcing it to Quentin Johnston. But, you know, Quentin Johnston's supposed to be able to catch those, and I don't blame him for trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and huck him extra balls. The one at the end where he was wide open and couldn't hang on to it, that one's a little demoralizing.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. They're going to have to work on that. But it's clear now, at least to me, and I'll say it again, they have some defensive injuries that are not helping them. Bosa, not helping them. They're like one more good wide receiver away from being a contender with a running back room that stays healthy. That's a problem every NFL team has, so there's nothing they can do about J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
Gus Edwards is back. It is what it is. But, you know, they'll address the wide receiver room in the upcoming years, and it's kind of on pace for what everyone assumed it would be. Is, you know, a better year this year for the Chargers that leads into a possible better year in the second, third year of Jim Harbaugh.
Yep.
And you know what? I'm a practical man. I think they should tank the season and get their draft pick.
That's why I was pissed at the Cowboys for beating the Commanders. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
That's where I'm at. I told my friends, I said, you know what? They win this game. It's a Super Bowl run. If they lose this game, get the fuck down in the rankings as quick as possible. Take out Justin Herbert. Take out Joey Bosa. Take out Khalil Mack. They need to rest because next year they're going on a run. Not this year. But, you know, we'll see what happens. They're not a bad team. Ravens are definitely a dominant team.
Yes.
But
I'm
going to stop ranting now before I go all night.
No. And it's a bit, you could see it. It's a bit of a matchup nightmare for the Chargers now, for where they are. And
not to mention, I'm thinking Lamar has a personal vendetta against him because 2019, Phillip Rivers beat him in the first round of the playoffs when Eric Weddle went to the Ravens, and Phillip Rivers murked on the little Weddle battle. So that's just my feelings on it. I think he'll always have a personal spot in his heart. And, of course, there was some questionable stuff by Harbaugh. He was conservative, which is a nice change of pace, opposed to Staley, who would have gone for him every fourth down.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you're down 2 scores and the defense had been good.
Yeah. He was trying to hang his hat on that. And, you know, again, there was just enough miscues there that and again, in the NFL, Jim has never beat John.
I know. He's now
so there's that thing, too.
Yeah,
so
0-3 from that perspective.
You got the big brother, little brother thing going on there, too.
And you know what? We'll see who's in the playoffs.
Yep.
And go from there.
All right.
Nevertheless, as it always in the month of November, the Trotten Turkey Award must be given out. And I realize now that I've been giving it to the person a week before. So, like, the Thanksgiving Award isn't going to anybody on Thanksgiving games. It's going to someone from the previous week.
Sure.
And, you know, we've kept that going, so I'll figure out what the December...
okay.
Yeah. You got to keep it consistently.
Right.
Next month, there'll be a new award announced. I'm thinking of the most vile name that'll make you turn off your phone and stop watching this podcast. But for now, we're still on the Trotten Turkey Award, and there's only one candidate for this award this week. Some bitch ran hard, ran fast, and I think he's already won it once in November. But he's won it again, goddammit. There's nothing I can do about it. I mean, when you put 250 yards up in a primetime game, I can't justify anybody else. Jamar Chase didn't catch 5 touchdowns this week.
Yeah. That's primetime, baby. Primetime.
Week 4, the Thanksgiving official Trotten Turkey Award goes to none other than Saquon Barkley.
Woo!
Congrats, Saquon, if you ever see this. We aren't giving you a trophy. We can't afford it with the podcast. But you know what? He did a damn good job. We've already kind of said something about it earlier, but you know what? We're going to say it again. Dude's a beast. I bet he breaks that record.
I bet he does.
I think the Ravens and Eagles next week play each other, too.
Yeah, coming up this weekend.
So
that'll be fantastic.
You know, I know somebody that put a futures bet on Saquon to win MVP. It was at plus 10,000 odds, I think, going into the season. And I think they keep it through that game, and I think the Eagles have one more easy game after that.
Okay.
And I'm trying to convince him to cash it after that. But I think he could break the record, and if you break the record, that gives you a good shot.
Right.
Now, talking about MVPs, I think that might just be a quarterback award.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's going to be I haven't done enough research, but I think it's going to be very, very hard for a running back to win that.
Yeah.
I don't know when the last time it happened. It'd be cool if it did.
If he keeps going, he's going to.
Yeah.
He'll pull it off.
So, lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
As per usual, though, looking that's all I had. Do you have anything else?
Nope.
All right. Looking to week 13. Thanks.
Yes.
Given. If you're listening to this podcast, I'm just now realizing the games start probably in a couple hours.
In a few hours, 12:30.
Yeah, 12:30
Eastern time.
Yeah, of course.
We'll have the Bears and the Lions.
Yes.
Oh, good Lord.
The first beatdown of the day.
Good Lord.
10.5 point or 10-ish spread depending on what book you have. I think this is on ESPN. It's 9.5. FanDuel it's 10.5. I don't see a world in which the Lions don't win this.
Agree. There's no way in hell.
Lions have a banged up-ish defense, but that offense can Motor City Dan Campbell anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, just destroy. And the Bears
are lost.
They're down in the dumps. DJ Moore had a good week last week, but aside from that, I don't see this going anywhere.
No. It's going to be 40-10, something like that.
I guess we could technically pick any of the over-unders on these games if we wanted to.
Okay.
The most exciting one, I think, is going to be Bears-Lions.
Yeah.
I don't really have much faith in the Dolphins-Packers game. They both scare me for various reasons.
Those are two goofy teams.
That's kind of where I'm at. So I think we do the Coy Pond pick on this one.
Perfect.
That's okay with you.
I love it.
All right. Follow us on Twitter at the Coy Pond Pod. I will be giving out a couple picks this week once I figure out what those are going to be. As of right now, I have not figured them out, so I'm not going to announce them right now. However, as per usual, I think the Coy Pond pick is 5-7.
5-7. All right.
You know,
all right.
we've had worse.
We're scraping and clawing to get to 500. Yes.
You know what? There's still time. Bears Lions over under. It looks like on ESPN bet is 48.5. We'll just roll with that. I kind of want to take the over.
I'm feeling over.
Hell yeah! All right, the official Coy Pond pick: Thanksgiving style turkey mashed potatoes stuffed and over a 48.5. There you go. Run with it. Is. It's not an impressive record, but you know what? Damn it, we got to get to 500.
Put it in the gravy, throw it on the turkey, and don't forget the mashed potatoes.
Get some cranberry sauce and a slice of bread because you're eating well this week.
That's right. And take the over.
48.5. We'll just keep it that easy.
Just don't overcook the turkey.
Of course not. Yeah. I don't remember if David Montgomery is playing yet or not. I know he had a slight injury.
Did he?
I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is playing.
Yeah, he was questionable, but they thought he would play.
Yeah, so I'm looking at some prop bets. Follow us on Twitter. I'll put a couple out there just as feelers.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think Lions win that game easy.
Me too.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Giants Cowboys. What an afternoon. God bless. Waiting all day for 4 o'clock football.
For shitball. Let's face it. The Giants got rid of Daniel Jones. He's a Viking now.
Yeah.
Just happened as we were coming on the air.
Yep.
The Tommy whatever.
DeVito.
Cutlets. He's out. He's not playing.
That's right. It's Drew Lock.
So it's going to be Drew Lock. This team is a mess. The players are so pissed about Daniel Jones being released. I just don't see them getting that team back.
No, you know what? I'm going to do something crazy. 38.5 is the total, or 37.5 is the total for this game on ESPN. I think Cowboys win, and I think that over hits.
Think so.
Maybe not. Never mind.
No, go ahead.
Scratch the over. I like the Cowboys to win, though. I have much more faith in Cooper Rush and the Cowboys defense than I do in anything going on with the Giants.
I think last week the Cowboys, Michael Parsons being back, I think Deron Bland being back, they found a jewel in another corner from the UFL that they've got, number 31. I can't remember his name offhand, but he played a hell of a game. And Damarian Overshone, number 13, is just lights out right now. So with Micah out there and Damarian Overshone, they've got something they haven't had at linebacker, and that's speed to cut off these running quarterbacks and plays on the end. So I think Dallas wins 24-3, or I think it's not going to be a good day for the Giants.
No, and I think the Cowboys are going to be having more fun with it, knowing their season's over, than the Giants are, who are frustrated and from top to bottom just pissed off at each other.
And they haven't won a game at home since before they lost to the Packers in the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
so
Cowboys have to win one.
They're going to win one game at home at least. So
let's roll Packers.
Got to be this one.
Fuck it. Dolphins at Packers.
Ugh.
Packers favored by 3.5. Over under 47.5. You know, I'll be honest. Tua can't play in the cold.
No.
He's a Dolphin. They don't belong in the North.
No. It's a bad combination.
I think I can't remember the injury report on either team, to be honest. Both these teams have had weird injuries that people come back and then they're out, and then they come back and then they're out. Dolphins looked hot, but they looked hot in Florida.
Yeah. Jordan Love seems to kind of found his groove.
Yeah.
And Josh Jacobs ran really hard last week for the Packers, so I think they've got enough there to take them.
I think I'm just going to lean Packers to win.
Same here.
And I might put out some grease ball parlay that night, depending on how much cold duck I've drank. But to be honest, it's like, this doesn't excite me.
No.
The Dolphins still need a lot to go right to make it to the playoffs. It's possible, but they need a lot to go right. And right now, that's being dictated by the Broncos mainly.
Right.
Colts, kind of, but, they're kind of fizzling. Raiders, Chiefs, the Black Friday.
Ugh.
Man, we got this on sale. They better be giving this one out for free, because I think this is a Netflix exclusive as well if you're trying to find this game.
There's just no way.
This is horrifying to me. Aiden O'Connell, I believe, is starting, which is
correct.
Even worse for the Chiefs, because I believe their head coach was talking some shit last year, this past offseason, about how they figured out how to beat Patrick Mahomes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
2-9 versus 10-1. I'm sure he's figured out how to only beat Patrick Mahomes. To be honest, I think the Chiefs throat fuck them. I'm not even gonna give them anything. Raiders Nation. I'm sorry. This is gonna be brutal.
It's gonna be brutal.
I don't see a world after they almost lose to Carolina where they don't go. They're not at home at 3:00.
Yeah.
Ready to lay down some pipe on these Raider bastards.
Yeah.
And I'm going to love every second of it.
I agree with you. And I think, just looking at Jimmy's face here, I think
yes,
that's probably how the Chiefs are attacking this game, looking very serious and ready to kick some ass.
That's an actual look at what Andy Reid looks like every win when he's facing his cheeseburger. But yes, the Raiders are going to get slapped, I think. There's not hope in Raiderland anymore.
No, it's brutal.
I don't think Tom Brady can give Aiden O'Connell any sort of power.
No.
If any. Colts at Patriots. Colts just got done getting beat by the Lions, and every team the next week after losing to the Lions has lost.
Yes.
1-11 or something like that at this point.
Lions beat the shit out of people.
I'll be honest. I wouldn't mind taking the Patriots at +3.
I agree.
I like. Is Drake May alive? Is he still playing?
I believe so.
If he's alive, I'll take the Patriots +3.
I think that's good.
Steelers Bengals. It's Cincy.
That's tough.
That is tough.
Cincinnati can't play defense.
Cincinnati's favored?
But the Steelers really don't put up a lot of points typically.
No.
They're coming off this game against the Browns.
Yep. Brownie land.
Think they're going to be fired up, I would guess.
I would think. I mean, I know there's a couple injuries on the Steelers. I might be wrong.
Yeah. I think one of the linebackers, Highsmith, maybe got hurt again.
Yeah. I don't know.
I could easily see Cincinnati winning this game.
I could see the Bengals winning.
I could too.
Because I don't know if they play. I don't think they've played yet.
I don't think so either.
They're going to split. If they're going to win one, it'll be at home.
Yep.
Fuck it. Give me Bengals money line.
Let's go with that.
It just seems easy. Chargers at Falcons.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Chargers, I might give you a minute to catch your breath there.
Yeah.
Chargers are not happy.
No.
They will bounce back. They're a proud team.
Yeah.
It's a proud coach. Atlanta sucks something fierce. Worse than others at certain moments.
Yes.
But I think the Chargers take it to them here.
I would love to see a Chargers win over Kirk Cousins. He's had his moments this year.
Yeah.
This is at home. I'm going to go off the fact that I don't believe the Falcons make sense, so they'll lose at home to the Chargers.
Yeah.
They have Gus Edwards. They have Vidal, who we might see in this game.
Yeah.
Who has looked good. He got the touchdown against the Broncos. Their first, I think it was week 2 or 3. I like the Chargers, I'm not going to lie.
I think this is going to be one of those Jim Harbaugh 23-10 wins.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Especially after you get done playing Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Now,
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Bijan Robinson, who they still haven't figured out how to use, to my knowledge. So
Kirk will probably be using a cane to run around there and
just
stuff.
Walker,
just
running from Joey Bosa.
That's right.
Khalil Mack probably. Seahawks at Jets. Give me Seahawks -2. That seems like a deal.
What is going on with Aaron Rodgers, the Jets, and that whole thing?
That was a social experiment that failed.
They have been set back 5 years at least.
Yeah, I have not listened to the podcast from Pat McAfee where Aaron Rodgers was on the other day.
Yeah.
I'll get to that, but, I have no information on that at the moment. But I know that came out that he said he wanted to play. And then I think on the podcast clip I saw, he said, well, we'll see how I feel.
Yeah.
So, That thing's on fire.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. I think Seahawks win that.
Yep, I agree with that.
Texans at Jaguars. Battle of mid. It's the divisional game in Clown Town, but
Jaguars are a mess. Texans aren't exactly organized at the moment.
No, they just got done losing to the Titans.
Even bad, Texans have enough to beat the Jaguars right now.
I would agree. I think Texans win this. In the slightest bounce back that you can have, Fairbairn will be fine.
Trevor Lawrence still out?
Maybe.
So that's Mac Jones. So there you go.
Yeah. Either way, I'd say give me
Doesn't
the Texans
matter.
probably. Christian Kirk's out regardless, so Gabe Davis or nothing.
Right.
Travis Etienne. Cardinals at Vikings.
Now this feels like one of those Cardinal upset games.
Yes, this feels
I
like
don't know why.
They go into the dome, the meatless dome, and they handle business. I'm not convinced the Vikings are who they say they are. Justin Jefferson was locked up by the Bears last week, pretty much the entire game. Give me the Cardinals, I guess.
I'm going the same way.
Hell yeah.
The Vikings are starting to crack.
Yep. Titans at Commanders.
Ooh. Titans just played well against the Texans? Yes.
Yeah.
Beat the Texans.
God, this sucks. I probably won't watch anything about this game unless it's a back and forth with kicking.
At Washington.
I guess give me the Redskins.
Take them because they're home.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
I don't see the Titans beating the Texans and the Commanders back-to-back weeks.
No. Buccaneers at Panthers. Bucks.
Ooh, Bucks, yeah.
Baker Mayfield's a dog.
Yeah.
He could have, 7 of Georgia's wide receivers instead of any of these pros, and he'd be fine.
Right.
I don't think the Panthers, they looked good. Maybe this will be a closer game, and I know this is divisional, but Baker Mayfield doesn't give a shit about that.
No. Did you see him blocking downfield for Bucky Irving?
Yes.
And he was in front of him.
Yes.
And you could see Bucky Irving look at him. He was like, how the fuck did you get up here?
How'd you catch up?
He just came running around the side.
He's
like,
throwing his arms up trying to block
yeah,
people.
shield him. And he actually did. It worked. I was like, damn.
Baker's a dog. Gotta love him.
Yep.
I think they win that division, by the way. But
I do too.
Beat the Panthers.
Yeah.
Rams at Saints.
Rams got beat by the Eagles. Eagles are a tough team. That makes sense.
Who'd the Rams get beat by the week before?
The week before the Eagles?
Yeah. Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Dolphins?
Might have been. It was a surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was the Dolphins.
Yeah, in the 2 weeks before. Sorry.
Okay.
But regardless, it was another primetime game.
Yeah.
Saints, new coach, but they found out Taysom Hill's still there. That's
that guy's tough.
Mazzardi, whoever their new coach is.
Okay.
Not doing too bad.
Rams have enough talent, I think, to take care of it here.
Give me the Rams.
Yeah.
I just have a hunch.
Yep.
I have no facts.
They'll bounce back.
It's been a long week.
Big. Probably the best game of the weekend.
Yeah, and we got it at 4. Well, okay. Yeah. Eagles at Ravens, 4 o'clock. This will be crazy.
Be a good game.
Not too far away from each other.
The two big backs.
Sirianni versus another Harbaugh.
Yep.
Spread,
at Baltimore.
At Baltimore. Spread's -3. No Brandon Graham for the Eagles.
Oh, okay.
He's out for the season.
Is he?
And he might be done career-wise as
Ooh.
well. He was on a podcast saying some stuff. No, nothing official yet, but he is out for the season. Huge hit. That means Derrick Henry might be running a little bit more wild.
Could be.
Cooper DeJean, the white boy.
Coming along good.
Looking
right?
pretty good. Blankenship not looking too bad.
Certainly the Eagles will be using Saquon to keep Lamar off the field and Derrick Henry off the field.
This might be the quickest game ever if they just hand the ball off every single snap.
Will they each have 200 yards?
Is that possible?
Wouldn't that be wild? Wonder what the odds are on that.
Both to have 200.
Put a bet on them.
It'd be a special. I bet it.
150 for each.
Yeah, I bet that would.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Personally, I'm going with the Eagles.
Really?
I think they have figured out their game plan, their
winning
offense
strategy.
Yep. And I think that I think Baltimore just came off a big high with beating his brother and all that.
Right.
So I don't know. I think Baltimore. I don't know. The Eagles. I just feel like they're going to win it.
You know what? Just because that would make the AFC a lot more interesting, I'm going to roll Eagles. And you know what? Fuck the Ravens. It's as simple as that. In that fucking Baltimore accent. 49ers, Bills.
Ugh.
Bills win.
Bills. Niners are a mess right now.
Yeah, you get Bills -7. Wow, they're expecting this to be an absolute beatdown.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Keon Coleman's back. I
think he is.
Oh,
yeah.
damn. Yeah, okay.
49ers, maybe Brock Purdy's back. Not sure.
Yeah, could be. I guess we'll have to see. Don't quote us on any of this, but
they're just They're still not. And again, this is West Coast to East Coast
Yeah.
to follow that rule.
Yeah, for sure.
Primetime game.
Yes.
I just feel like the Bills right now are firing in big time.
Yep. I like that. And then, boy, we waited all weekend for Monday night. Browns
And this is what we got?
Broncos. Give me Denver.
Bo and Hicks against Jameis Winston. Ugh, who would have thought that actually could be interesting?
Yeah, Denver's going to take second place in the AFC West after this game. I don't see a world in which the Browns win this.
The Browns are traveling to Denver.
Yeah.
Tough place to play anyway.
Mile high, mile dry. Come in your trap, take your trap.
And the Browns are coming off a big win over the Steelers. You know,
They're going to
be a little high yet, probably.
I think the Broncos.
Especially in Denver.
Yeah. Smoking on that ganja. I just think Broncos win that. And that's Week 13 NFL games. You know, some great ones, some terrible ones. Some of them are on Thanksgiving. You get what you get. Season's gone, as all seasons do, and it's not according to plan.
You know, those crap games on Thanksgiving are kind of like being with family that one time a year that it's like, can we just get through this?
Yeah, God.
So
you couldn't have tossed me a bone. No, I don't care.
A wishbone?
Yeah. You can't break bread with these games.
Didn't come true.
But nevertheless, hope everyone has a happy holidays. We tried to keep this a little bit shorter. That didn't happen. No one's surprised. But as always, thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, comment. Send us a speak pipe with a question if you're curious about a bet you have that you need to know if you need to cash out or let it ride.
Happy Thanksgiving and be safe out there.
Yep. Stay safe, guys. Have a great holiday weekend, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.